Are you ready?
Yeah, turn up the heat.
Are you ready?
Is he ready?
Oh, yeah, he's ready.
It's go time.
Ready to go beyond the scores and stats.
I love it.
Good.
Let's bring it in. It's showtime, right?
Welcome to High on Sports.
The whole deal is like some kind of crazy game.
Exclusively on MorningShowCentral.com.
Hello and welcome to High on Sports. I'm Ralphie, and with me, as always,
Ashley.
and I am Von Erich. And thank you so much for joining us, whether you're listening on one of the many glorious apps or at home on your computer. Thank you for making High on Sports a part of your evening. And remember, as always, email the show with your questions or comments to shows with an S at MorningShowCentral.com. Call the show toll-free 1-888-668-0742. And if you're watching the show on MSC, which you probably are, to the right of the viewer is a place to log into a chat room. I'm doing it right now. As for a password, you do not need to put one. Just put a name, hit enter. You are immediately logged in talking with myself, Ashley. Or, well, not Ashley today. No. But myself, Von Erich, and whoever else may be in there. So you will want to check that out as I'm getting in there right now. My name will be Ralphie, so that's how you'll know it's me. Unless someone else already took that name. Let's find out. Nope, I'm good.
You're
okay.
good.
All right, well, we've got a jam-packed show here for you. But, also I want to remind you, get to the website, highonsportsradioshow.com. You can go look at my mock draft and how it was sort of accurate, part of the way. I did not predict that picks 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 would all be picked by the team that didn't originally have them. I knew pick 2, obviously, was the Redskins, but every other pick was traded.
But I mean,
That seems impossible,
You
but-
still had the people right, though.
For the most part.
Because, I mean, the Browns and Minnesota flip-flop, but they still took the same people.
For the most part. I didn't have the Cowboys coming in there.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I didn't have the Jags coming in there. Kind of threw it off a little bit. But we'll get to that. Again, get to the website, highonsportsradioshow.com. And, again, we've got some draft talk to do here. So without much further ado, it is round 1. Let's go. The one. All right, of course, obviously the big thing to start with, it's a 3-day juggernaut of an event now, is the NFL Draft. First round, by the way, quickest first round in the history of the NFL.
That's because everyone knew when the first, 10 were going.
They were getting backlogged 2 and at 1.3 picks behind on TV.
Because they got to keep up with their commercials and
I was
everything.
fortunate enough to get to watch it on the NFL Network this year, and they were just getting so backlogged. But it was because Nike. It's because Nike's in here now, and Nike was basically screen printing every jersey as the picks were announced, so that they could walk out with a Browns jersey that says Richardson or a Jags jersey that says Blackman instead of not saying anything like it used to.
Yeah.
Now they've actually got their names on the jersey when they walk out, which to me seems like it's cool and whatever, but it doesn't seem like it's worth the amount of chaos it's causing.
No, because all it does is
backlogging picks.
Yeah.
I remember at one point, I think it was, I think they hadn't announced the Patriots pick yet, but the Patriots pick was in, the Browns pick was in, and the Lions pick was in, and the Steelers were on the clock, and they hadn't announced the Patriots yet. And it was like, you gotta quit it with these shirts or something.
Yeah.
Or just cheat and do the draft beforehand.
See, what
and
they should
then
have did is
broadcast it.
just, I mean, you figure you know where most of them are going.
Yeah.
So you
But you
make
don't wanna-
the name tag. You should have just made the name tag because everybody has however many first-round draft picks. You have a jersey for each team. If you have more than one, then you have 2 jerseys or whatever, so on. You just print up a name, and then
You just guess?
you
just
basically guess, and then you make a couple extras for.
You want to make all the possibilities that it could be?
Well, not all of them, but I'm saying it would have saved a lot of time because I mean, Lux. They
probably had a Luck and an RG3
Richardson's,
jersey
all
made.
those should have been done.
Yeah.
And then obviously, most likely Tannehill is going to Minnesota. They should have just made the name tags.
You meant Tannehill to Miami, but
that's what I meant. Yeah. And
I don't think
obviously obviously you could only make so many because then other ones they're just gonna be like what?
Well, then some of them it's like you
but
just.
they could have started a lot of it probably.
But then some of them you just made a Broncos jersey for round 1.
No, you just make
And
the
then
name tag.
But-
and when they pick them, and you stick it on the jersey.
But now you got to throw out this Broncos jersey that you had because
No.
they traded out of the first round. So are the Ravens.
You
I
don't
believe.
gotta sell it.
Sell
it's
it. Who's buying it?
It's a
It's got
jersey.
nothing on it. It's
Stick a
used.
name on it.
It's a used jersey.
It's not used. They weren't even worn. Please, somebody will buy it. Draft day jersey, never worn.
But then see, no, here's the problem though. You wind up with a situation where it's kind of funny if you think about it. You wind up with a situation like we know the NFL prints off these caps and shirts, say Super Bowl champion,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. Like last year the Super Bowl was the Giants and the Patriots. They make both. They make all the hats that say Patriots.
Yeah, so you
Super Bowl
get 'em
champion, and
as soon
Giants
as it
Super Bowl
ends.
champion. So then as soon as it's over, they crack open the box of Giants, and everybody puts them on, and they're holding a newspaper up and all this stuff. But then the Patriots, when they really do this, is they take them to like the third world countries
Yeah,
in like
give 'em to
Africa
them.
and give them to them. So there's a bunch of little kids running around who think the Bulls the Bills in the 90s were a dynasty.
Yeah.
Like, can you believe the Bills 4 straight Super Bowls? I can't believe they won 4 Super Bowls in a row. But I mean, then you'd wind up with the same thing. You have a bunch of people like I don't even know. You have a bunch of like Tampa Bay Buccaneer Trent Richardson jerseys running around and stuff, and it just turns weird. That means like there's a jersey with that name floating around.
I'm saying just you make the names, and you already have the Browns had what 2 first-round picks. You have 2
Yes.
Browns jerseys, and you make one Richardson name because you know he's coming to Cleveland. So just already have it stuck on.
All right, how many Buccaneers
then-
jerseys did you bring to this scenario?
There was only one, right?
But they traded back in.
Yeah, okay. Well, it's
You can't
Nike.
foresee this
They
stuff.
probably have boxes of jerseys sitting around.
I don't know. They have to go they have to go take the jersey from the guy they picked first.
This is
and
a
be like,
Well,
"Hey,
obviously
these
they
are-
expensive arguments.
obviously they
I don't
had
get
the
it.
jerseys because you can't just make a jersey in a minute.
Anyways, at some point in the draft, actual players were selected. Between
That did happen.
It was mostly a special on printing jerseys, but then before the commercials, they would like pick someone, such as Andrew Luck, number 1 overall, RG3, number 2, of course, and the Browns coming in with Trent Richardson. Now some debate
Yeah,
right
buddy.
there. The Browns move up from 4 to 3. All these rumors running rampant that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were going to trade up and block the Browns from getting Richardson and take Richardson at 3 themselves. Now there's other reports coming out that say that was never the situation. Minnesota just duped us.
They could
I
have.
think it's really neither here nor there because you look at what they gave up. They gave up 4 picks, right? 4
Yeah.
picks for one.
Well,
Most of those.
technically, I mean, we only gave up, 3? Because, I mean, you figure you switched 3 and 4, so that's not really giving up a pick.
true. That's true.
I don't consider that giving up a pick.
Well, either way, 4 picks left the Browns' possession and went to the Minnesota Vikings. But their 4 picks they were I don't have it in front of me, but I know we're talking like 6th round.
It was 4th, 5th. I think it was. It wasn't 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
I think it was like 4th, 5th, 7th. I think, but
Yeah, it was 4th, 5th, and 7th.
But I mean, those are some late picks. And granted, yes, Tom Brady was found in the 6th, but you can't just bank off that all the time. You can't be like, well, they could
Yeah.
have just traded away the next Tom Brady.
But we
No.
also had 2 other 4th-round picks, too.
The Browns had it sounds weird saying this. The Browns had too many picks.
Yeah.
They had 13 picks going into this. That's too many. Not all of your draft picks would even make your team at
Yeah.
that point. But they
See,
they
that's why
trimmed
I
some
didn't-
of the
that's why I
picks,
didn't mind it
moved
either.
up to be sure that they get their guy. This was the obvious choice for the Browns this early. If he goes off the board, yes, there's a Matt Kalil available. Played his whole career at left tackle. We don't know if he can do right tackle. There's Justin Blackmon. There was debates about whether he'd be even worth it. Like I've said before, he fits the same prototype as most of the rest of the Browns receivers, a possession receiver, which we already have. So this was the obvious choice, and if the Browns wanted to move up one spot to be absolutely sure of that, then good. They did the right move. They did the right
Yeah.
move, moving up to 3, making sure they get Trent Richardson. This was the best choice they could have made.
Yeah. Because, I mean, and plus we had 3 4th-round picks. You give up 1, we still have 2. And we had an extra 5th and an extra 7th anyway.
Speaking of the
So-
other pick, we come down to 22. Now, reports have come out since this happened that the Browns were very much interested in going at 22 with Kendall Wright, wide receiver out of Baylor. Kendall
Which would have been
Wright.
a solid choice.
Oh, absolutely. Kendall Wright is a legitimate deep threat. Little short, but he's fast enough that he can make up for it. Kendall Wright goes number 20 to the Titans. No one really saw that coming. So you'd have to throw out your Titan. You wouldn't have a Titans Kendall Wright jersey.
I'm
But,
saying just
all right,
the name
all right, all
tag,
right,
not
all
the
right.
jersey.
Okay,
And then
okay.
you stick it on when they get picked.
All right, that's fine.
You're not comprehending
But-
what I'm saying here.
I guess not, but but so then Kendall Wright off the board. Next pick, Chandler Jones to the Patriots. Suddenly Browns are on the clock at 22, and whether this was a knee-jerk reaction or they panicked or what happened, it's neither here nor there why they picked him where they picked him. But the Browns select Brandon Weeden, quarterback, Oklahoma State.
And I'm completely okay with it.
I could not agree with you more. I love this choice. I mean, I do see the argument of they might have been able to wait and grab him with a second rounder and use this
Yeah.
one on a right tackle. Riley Reef was still there. He went the very next pick. David DeCastro, he's a guard, but they also need help at guard. There's lots of other people. Kevin Zeitler is another offensive lineman. There's Jonathan Martin out of Stanford. Cordy Glenn out of Georgia. A lot of good offensive line talent they could have taken there, but they go quarterback, and I believe that there was the possibility of him not being there
Yeah,
by the Browns' second
I don't
pick.
think he would have. I don't know if he would have made it.
Because one team that was a couple teams that were looking at him, obviously wouldn't pick before the Browns, or before the Browns get back on the clock, I should say. But the Philadelphia Eagles were ones that were looking to go
Yeah.
quarterback, and someone behind Vic, that would have been a great guy to have there. The Dallas Cowboys,
Oh,
our name
yeah.
that was thrown around with him because for some reason, Jerry Jones just never feels like he has enough quarterbacks. He seems very adamant about Romo, but then he's always trying to add someone else behind him. And then another name that I thought should have been discussed, but I don't believe there was any correlation between this team and Weeden. But I think if I was this team, I would have been looking at Weeden, is the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, they're a team that they're an expensive, fast, sexy Ferrari sports car, but the person driving it is just a mediocre
Alex
driver.
freaking Smith.
So why wouldn't you? I would say take a chance at a guy who's old enough to know what he's doing. He's
Yeah.
28 years old. He's going to be 29 very early into the season. Go out there, you get him, and it's like putting Tony Stewart behind the wheel instead of Alex Smith. But no correlation that I was hearing about, anyways, of the 49ers looking at Weeden. But if I was the 49ers, I would have. But again, it's neither here nor there because he wasn't on the board when they went up there. They reached for A.J. Jenkins. That was a weird move.
Yeah.
Especially, I thought they were at least good enough at receiver. They just brought in Brandy Moss coming out of retirement for them.
Yeah, so they bring in another one.
So I don't know. But either way, Brandon Weeden is here, and a lot of people, obviously, the main issue. Okay, well, let's establish this first. Let's pretend he's 22 years old. Is anyone upset right now?
No.
I mean, he is 6'4" at least. He throws a tight spiral. He throws the deep ball. He can do the intermediate passes. He's got just about everything you want.
He
He's
can
got
throw
the
the
frame
ball
of a quarterback.
45 miles an hour.
He's-
That's like equivalent to his 90-mile-an-hour fastball.
He does everything right. Let's be honest. The one knock, he is 28 years old. Of course, before he gave football a try, he thought he was going to become a professional baseball player. Drafted in the second round. Drafted before guys like Curtis Granderson.
Yeah.
So,
At 18, right out of high
At one
school.
point, the baseball world said,
By the
Brandon
Yankees,
Weeden-
by the Yankees.
At one point, the baseball world said Brandon Weeden will be a better baseball player than Curtis Granderson. So that gives you an idea of how hot of a prospect he was. You look at what Curtis Granderson's become. But Brandon Weeden, I mean, he was pretty much just fastballs, which is a good problem to have if you're going to be a quarterback.
Right?
It's like, good, I don't want you to be able to throw like a curveball with the football. I want it straightened down the middle. But his ERA was astronomical. There were reports that he was injured and had to have surgery. At the Browns press conference where he's being introduced, he said he's never had surgery, never had an injury that required surgery. I don't know where that report's coming from, but he says it's not true. I feel like he wouldn't lie to the public about having surgery.
Yeah.
Because that would definitely turn up. So, I mean, he looks to be all right. It's just baseball wasn't his thing. It wasn't going to work out for him. So then, of course, he enrolls in Oklahoma State. And finally decides to give quarterback a try. And here we are. Browns pick him with the 22 overall pick. And we're going to get into the discussion a little bit here in a couple minutes about him versus Colt McCoy and what the Browns should do. But first of all, let's just quick little rundown of who the Browns selected. Obviously, we established the first two, Richardson, Whedon. Next day, they go Mitchell Schwartz in the second round, pick number 5. Again, a head scratcher there because, like I said, a guy like Cordy Glenn, a guy like Jonathan Martin, still on the board. Many projected them to be first-round picks, perhaps even top 10, top 15, yet they had slipped to the second round, and the Browns didn't capitalize on it. But again, I mean, they're the ones sitting there scouting Mitchell Schwartz, not us. I think I speak for most of us when I say that might have been the first time we hear his name.
Yeah.
So they clearly know something we don't. Let's hope so, anyways. Most of the class, if you look for the Browns, all but one player they elected to go seniors almost across the board. Going for people that have been doing this a little bit longer. Obviously, the first pick a junior. Every other pick after that was a senior, 4-year player at his particular school. Then they go in the third round. This is where I was sure they're going to go receiver. I thought they were going to go receiver at 2, but when we got to 3, I was like, well, the Browns are absolutely going to go receiver now, right? No. John Hughes, defensive tackle out of Cincinnati. Going for depth here. They addressed the line a lot. 2 defensive tackles in this draft. Obviously, they're pretty set at their starting defensive tackles. Phil Taylor, Atiba Rubin. Phil Taylor was just drafted in the first round last year. He's already looking pretty good. I believe he ended up finishing the season leading all defensive tackles in tackles. So, at least top 5 in the category. Atiba Rubin last year they signed to a longer deal. But this move was brought in so they could build some sort of a rotation with the line to help to get big bodies in there that can stop the run. That was the problem with this defense. As good as this defense was last year, it'll be even better if they figure out a way to stop the run. But then we come in at that ends day 2. So we go 2 days, no receivers. Then we open up day 3, round 4, pick 5. Travis Benjamin, wide receiver from Miami, Florida. Short guy, he's under 6 foot. Fast as hell.
And he can jump through the ceiling.
Well, yeah. Luckily, the Browns play most of their games this year outdoors, so no ceilings he has to worry about going through. But
I'm just saying, a 34-inch vertical.
That is pretty damn high.
Dude's got nasty hops.
That is
pretty
pretty damn high.
guy.
I want to see him fight for a ball, though. It's one thing to jump up there for it. It's another thing to get physical in the air with the defensive back who's trying to
Doesn't matter. He's
stop you.
going to jump over him.
I know. I'm just saying.
34-inch vertical.
I'm just saying. I'm not going to throw a parade for the guy already. He just got here. He's got to prove himself to me
Dude's got
specifically. Specifically, Travis Benjamin, you have to prove yourself to me.
Dude has hops.
Well, that'd be great if this was a basketball game.
I know, right?
This is football. Then we go back in the 4th round, another pick. James Michael Johnson, linebacker, Nevada. And then we come in the 5th round, Ryan Miller, guard out of Colorado. I've read good things about this kid. I guess he could theoretically play almost anywhere on the line. Excuse me. He's going to contend for the starting right guard position. He's gonna be vying for it anyways. But even worst case scenario, he provides great depth across the board. So that's a good move. And then Emmanuel Acho, linebacker out of Texas. His brother playing for the Arizona Cardinals right now. Then also in the 6th round, Billy Wynn, another defensive tackle, this time out of Boise State. This is a big fella right here. Ooh. Pure run stopper. It's going to get in the way of all the opposing running backs. Then we get to the 7th round. You got Trevin Wade. They finally addressed corner. Arizona. I'm surprised they didn't go safety at all in this draft.
Yeah.
With the leaving, with Mike Adams leaving, but they do have Usama Young, so we'll see how that plays out. And then really smart move here at the end. Tight end / fullback Brad Smelly out of Alabama. Good move, I think here. He's a guy who blocked some of the time for Richardson in Alabama. So you get a guy already that Richardson's pretty familiar with to help out in the blocking game. And then they go back and help out Brandon Whedon a little bit the next day when they sign a whole buttload, really, of undrafted rookies, one of which is the number 2 receiver behind Justin Blackmon at Oklahoma State. Another one, local fans should know, Andrew Sweat, linebacker from Ohio State.
Yeah.
He was probably the best Ohio State player on defense this past season. He's just hurt a lot.
Yeah.
So he kind of slipped through the cracks, and Browns managed to pick him up. Not a bad move at all, really. So that's the draft. Browns, mostly from what I've been seeing, getting a B's to C's grade overall on the whole thing. It's just a lot of people believe they reached for a lot of these players. Travis Benjamin, people believe was a reach. John Hughes, Mitchell Schwartz. a lot of guys like that. But I mean, I think overall good draft. You're looking at, let's see, at least 1, 2, 3 to 4, maybe even 5 starters, maybe even 6 starters from this draft. So, that's not a bad move. And now one thing I like, something that was pointed out to me, is last year, obviously, the Browns make big news by trading out of the number 5 spot where they could have selected Julio Jones, trading to the Falcons for a whole mess of picks, some last year, some this year. Now all of those picks are spent, and we can't fully evaluate it yet because we need to see what some of those picks do, but all of those picks are spent so we can at least see what we got basically in exchange for Julio Jones. And here's how it's looking right now. The Browns give Julio Jones to the Falcons, and in return, the Falcons give the Browns their starting quarterback in Brandon Weeden. One of the picks was used to trade up for Trent Richardson, so you could say they're starting running back in Trent Richardson. Last year, it netted the Browns Greg Little, number 1 wide receiver, Owen Marasic, who's the starting fullback for the Browns, and Phil Taylor, starting defensive tackle. So you're looking at 5 starters that the Browns got
For one receiver.
in exchange for Julio Jones. Not a bad move whatsoever, because honestly, looking at this offense last year, I don't know if Julio Jones on this offense
It wouldn't have mattered anyway.
would have mattered.
Yeah, because
So-
we had no run game. So really, our pass game couldn't even exist if we even had one to exist because we had no run game. So they knew we were throwing it every time.
Oh, yeah.
Because when we were running the ball, we were getting a yard a carry.
I mean,
Something pitiful.
people want to criticize, they call him H&H, Holmgren Heckert. People want to criticize H&H for their drafting ability and stuff like that. I think that's totally unfounded. I think since Holmgren's coming to power, it's been pretty damn good drafting, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially with this Julio Jones trade. Look at Julio Jones, by the way. We know now he's pretty decent, but going into it, all right, he actually he didn't run at the combine because he had a metal screw in his foot because his foot was broken.
Yeah.
So you trade a guy.
Well, he had off-field issues too. Like, didn't he have
Yeah.
attitude problems and stuff?
Well, I know AJ Green did before him.
Well, yeah.
AJ Green sold some jerseys, got suspended. But I know with Julio Jones, you just traded a guy who's never started never played an NFL game in his life, and just had a metal screw in his foot, whose job is to run. For 5 starters on your team. It's just brilliant now that we can step back and look at this trade. And again, we can't fully evaluate it though, because honestly, we do have to see what's Brandon Weeden gonna do. How's Greg Little gonna progress into his second season, and other things like that. But so far, I mean, that Julio Jones deal looking pretty damn smart. Unlike the one that Eric Mangini did when Eric Mangini was had the Browns at number 5, traded back with the Jets so that the Jets could select Mark Sanchez. Got a bunch of players, got a bunch of picks. I don't know if any of the players or picks are on this team anymore, and that wasn't even that long ago.
Mangini wasn't a bad coach. He just didn't know how to draft.
Is it wrong that I didn't like Mangini once he got skinny? All he did was remind me of Kevin James and how much King of Queens went downhill after he lost weight.
Nice reference.
Right? Thank you. It's just like
man.
for some reason, it's like every time there's a comedian that comes back and they're skinny, they're usually not funny anymore. So for some reason, I had just this mental association like it would work that way for coaching. Like once he shows up as second year skinny, it's like, oh great, now he's a horrible coach. But to be honest, he was kind of, so maybe.
I didn't mind him.
His second year was a real disappointment, especially going the year before when the Browns had sort of discovered Jerome Harrison, went nuts, and
he
won. What was it
fizzled
like?
out.
They won like the last 3-4 games. I think
Yeah.
they won the last 4 games.
Yeah.
That's right, including beating Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And then you expect to ride that momentum in, and then he did not. He did not
That's 'cause
whatsoever, really.
Harrison had his one and done year.
Yeah.
He had those 4 or 5 games where he was the mess.
And then what was it? The one game he put up the I guess now it's the 3rd highest single game
Yeah.
yardage
Yeah,
total for a
dude
running
went
back
off.
ever. Behind only
It was against KC.
I think it might have been,
Yeah.
behind only Jamal Lewis and Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Recently took the number 1 spot from him. So, by the way, Trent Richardson getting a lot of comparisons to Adrian Peterson. So
I've noticed.
that pans out. Who knows? Who knows? Last couple of years, running backs selected in the top 10. The last 3 running backs, we'll do this real quick. Last 3 running backs selected in the top 10 would be Adrian Peterson. It would be Darren McFadden, pretty good when he's healthy. And it would be Marshawn Lynch. So, pretty good year. Pretty good
Okay.
comeback year for Marshawn Lynch this past year.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. Now he's all with Skittles now. You seen that stuff? He's like. By the way, I don't know if you watched the first round of the draft, but they do a lot of player interviews and stuff
Yeah.
beforehand. But what disappointed me about the NFL Network is it wasn't real interviews. It was pretty much like, who are you wearing? Like I feel like I'm watching the Oscars or something. But either way, they're like talking to RG3, and of course they're asking him about his socks.
Yeah.
Because he's all wacky with the socks. And he pulls up his pant leg, and I don't remember what it said on it. It said something like, go get your dreams or something. But it was a red sock, dark red sock with yellow writing and yellow stripes, color of the Redskins. And he's like, oh, that's such a nice sock. And he mentioned that he's like, me and I think it was either Nike or Adidas. I think it was Adidas. He's like, yeah, me and Adidas worked together and made this sock. This is the only pair right now. We didn't mass produce them yet because we don't want the commissioner to get mad at us. So he's like already got specific RG3 Redskin themed
That's
gear
funny.
that they're just waiting for him to get picked so they can start mass producing it. I mean, I can't wait to start seeing that. That's the weird thing about the draft is all of a sudden you just start seeing these people in commercials.
Yeah.
Like it seemed like Reggie Bush signed a contract with Subway before he did with, the New Orleans Saints when they had picked
well,
him.
RG3 was on the on the Under Armour. Was it
Yeah,
Under
they'll use him in
commercial
Under
or-
Armour. Under Armour because they've got a deal with like the
Yeah.
NCAA and whatever. So they'll do stuff with Under Armour, but they're not like getting paid for that. It's just show up and do Under Armour. But either way, let's break this down now. The Browns have, as we've mentioned earlier, the Browns selected a quarterback in the first round. First time since Brady Quinn. Same number pick too, 22 by the way. But the Browns have Brandon Weeden on the roster now. They also have Colt McCoy. They have 4 quarterbacks right now. All right, one of them is obvious. He's not going to make the team. That's Thaddeus Lewis.
Wherever he came from.
So no Thaddeus Lewis. There's Seneca Wallace. There's Colt McCoy, and there's Brandon Weeden. And I think it's safe to say that this battle is going to come down to, oh my God, can I mention this? Can I bring this up? Wow, we have a Tim Couch cutout that we used to have on the old
Makes
set.
me sad when I see it.
Now we've attached a list of names to this Colt McCoy or this Tim Couch cutout of all the quarterbacks who have played for the Browns since Tim Couch. It is staggering. Oh my God! Did we put Brandon Weeden on there, or are we not? We're not
Well,
going
he
to make
hasn't
that guess
technically
yet.
played yet.
Theoretically, he hasn't. No.
Well, we could put him down at the bottom since he is.
We'll put Weeden in a couple months once he starts.
Right.
Once we get to September, and Weeden's named the starter, which is what I was going to ask you guys. Who do you start right now? You got Brandon Weeden, is a rookie. Ideally, you don't want to throw a rookie in there when you have someone who's got 2 years starting experience on the team, but he is a 28-year-old rookie.
I say he plays.
You say he plays?
Well, I mean, because I honestly think he is better than Colt McCoy. Like, obviously, I've seen McCoy play however many games he's played for Cleveland.
He
I
has.
watch every game. And I've seen Weeden play for Oklahoma because I've watched some of their games. Weeden can throw the damn
He
ball.
can, and it is at the college level. But let's be honest here, like comparing the physical attributes, the reason Colt McCoy fell as far as he did is he could win at the college level.
Yeah.
But when you get to the pros, where your height, your size, all those things matter exponentially more. Colt McCoy is small. He's a
small.
tiny little man. He's not very tall. He's not very big. And he just doesn't seem like he has the physical athleticism, I guess you could say, or the physical size or tools to really produce at a high level. What do you think, Von Erich? You go with the new old man?
Now, just because he's 28 and going to be a rookie, that doesn't mean, since he has all that extra maturity, that he's going to be ready for the NFL.
It is true. It is true.
Yeah.
It's an interesting point. I mean, he here's the thing. Let's take another quarterback. Nick Foles was taken a little later in the draft by the Eagles. You don't think about it. The thing with the Brandon Weeden, selecting Brandon Weeden and the fact that he's 28, we get mixed up, and we've already forgotten he's a rookie. We've already, as a city and as a country, really forgotten that Brandon Weeden has not played in the NFL. We're talking about his veteran leadership and stuff like that. The point I was going to make is Nick Foles is like 22. They've started the same amount of games.
Yeah.
Nick Foles and Brandon Weeden, they've started the same amount of NFL games, which is none at all. So it is an interesting point that I think it's such a weird dynamic. I'd love to see the two of them meet because you've got, on one hand, you've got the younger guy, about 20, I don't even know what he is right now, 24, 25, something like that. Actually, he's 25. You've got him, who's the veteran, and then you've got the 28-year-old. It's all fresh and new to everything. But either way, we're going to take a quick break. For the money, or for the record, I should say, I've got my money on Brandon Weeden starting week 1 against the Philadelphia Eagles.
I really think he does too.
But maybe more on this later. But when we get back, you're going to find out what's urinating us off. We're going to talk NBA playoffs, what it means to lose the defending MVP, and how it will change the playoffs and the United States Olympic team. All that and so much more. You're listening to High on Sports on the MSC Radio Network.
Language.
Okay, he was PMSing.
You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network.
MSC Radio Network weather is brought to you by NeoWeather and NeoWeather.com, Ohio's home for weather. Good evening. We have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect for areas from generally I-77 to points west, generally Cleveland, Akron, Canton, and then points west. That is in effect until 1 o'clock Tuesday morning as a line of showers and thunderstorms moves our way. Currently, as of about 6:45 p.m., that is near the Ohio and Indiana border, and will be moving our way sometime after 8 o'clock tonight. We do have a few storms out ahead of that line up along the lake shore that's interacting with the boundary along the lake and the land. So a few mainly heavy rain showers, not really seeing much in the way of thunder, but we could continue to see some storms develop ahead of the line as it moves our way. Damaging winds and large hail are the primary threats from the storm. However, we could see a brief isolated tornado in a couple of spots. Very, very, very low chance of that, but the potential does exist for something like that to happen. Temperature still very warm as of right now. We're still in the upper 70s to near 80 in spots where that rain is hit. You're in the upper 50s, and it's going to remain warm through tonight as that line moves through. Be sure to stay tuned for all the latest. Check out NeoWeather.com for all the latest weather updates. We'll be live streaming as well if we need to. I'm forecaster Mark Spencer from the MSC Radio Network and NeoWeather.com. Stay safe.
From the Cocaine Energy Supplement Studio, you're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network. If you live the lifestyle, then you should arrive in style. Lifestyle Limousine Service. Whether it's dinner for two, an evening at the winery, or a night out on the town, Lifestyle Limousine provides extraordinary service. Check them out on the web, lifestylelimousineservice.com. Reserve your ride now. 330-903-0508. 330-903-0508. Lifestyle Limousine Service. And make sure you tell them Morning Show Central Radio Network sent you. Cocaine Energy Supplement. Due to great consumer demand, Redux Beverages has officially announced the return of its world-famous Cocaine Energy Supplement. It's now available at retail locations across the country, as well as online at ReduxDirect.com. That's ReduxDirect.com. Don't forget to be part of the all-new Cocaine Energy Supplement social network, where you can meet other Cocaine Energy Supplement fans from around the world. Cocaine Energy Supplement. You can become a member. By logging on to lovecocaine.com.
Project X Show.
Driven by porn. Every Tuesday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern.
Right here on Morning Show Central Radio Network.
Project X Show.
Live on morningshowcentral.com.
Rise above the clutter.
Brand your identity and make a statement. Broken Fan Media. Expert video production, television and web commercials, music video, real estate tours, live concerts and events, state-of-the-art post-production, video and audio editing. Check us out on the web at brokenfanmedia.com. 434-944-0472. Broken Fan Media. The next generation of sight and sound.
Hey, it's Big Daddy from The Marty Allen Show. Catch the replay of The Marty Allen Show every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern right here on MSC. Now, my show airs Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 3 p.m. and Saturdays at 2 at MartyAllenShow.com. But you can catch the best of The Marty Allen Show every Thursday at 7 p.m. right here on Morning Show Central. So if you want all the latest sports news, entertainment news, and everything else that's going on in the world, then tune into my show live at MartyAllenShow.com and the best of the replays right here at MorningShowCentral.com. Get MSC and get cooking, baby.
Check out Uncensored Net Noise every Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, right here. Uncensored Net Noise on MorningShowCentral.com. If you're looking for the best in musical equipment, recording gear, sound reinforcement, and more, Guitar Center has you covered. Guitar Center, located at 26635 Brook Park Road in North Olmsted, has the tools of your trade with the largest selection of music and sound gear in the area. They cater to your musical needs and have the knowledge to help you out. Guitar Center in North Olmsted. MorningShowCentral.com uses them. You should too. Need to know more? Go to GuitarCenter.com. You're listening to MSC Radio Network, and like anything else on the internet, it runs on computers. Lots of computers. And you know, when you're dealing with computers, hard drives sometimes crash. That happened here at MSC. And you know what saved them? Rectify backup software. Don't believe us? Well, ask yourself this question. Are you backed up? Probably not. So don't be that guy and wait till it's too late. MSC did their research and tried tons of different backup programs and chose Rectify backup software. You know, peace of mind is priceless, and Rectify can give you and your computer system that peace of mind. Find out more at rectify.com. That's RECTIPHY.com. P99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. Jumping from one web host to another can be frustrating. Finding a good web host can be unnerving for even the most experienced of web designers. That's why Uncensored Net Noise has chosen P99 Technologies as its web hosting supplier. Established in 1999, P99 Technologies has evolved into a first-class web hosting provider. Its 99.9% uptime rivals many in the industry. That's why they offer their 30-day guarantee, no questions asked. For more information, go to P99.com. P99 Technologies will help you get started with your web presence with honest and expert customer service. P99 Technologies. Affordable and reliable web hosting done right. Hey, Unsigned Bands.
You are jam-packed.
Hey, Unsigned Bands. Want your music heard? Yeah! Shoot us an email with the name of the band and the MP3 of the song. Send it to show@morningshowcentral.com. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network on morningshowcentral.com. Having problems with your home computer or business PC? Looking to have some upgrade work completed on your computer? Have a special project in mind that may be too much for you to undertake alone? Time to call
Joe the Printer Guy!
Joe the Printer Guy offers a full-service hardware and software repair center at his facility to handle your PC, server, and networking needs. Let their professional service staff handle your computer needs. They offer expert service at an affordable price. Visit Joe the Printer Guy at 14035 Madison Avenue, Lakewood, Ohio. Online, joetheprinterguy.com, or give him a call at 216-651-3880. Joe the Printer Guy. Looking for reliable and affordable Shoutcast audio or video hosting? JWN Media offers complete Shoutcast hosting solutions for business or personal use. All plans come with full listener stats, custom web scripts for implementing your service into your existing website, full server control, super fast network, and huge bandwidth limits, a 99.5% uptime guarantee, and friendly, knowledgeable support personnel dedicated to making your hosting experience fun and easy. With plans starting at only $3 a month, you have no excuse not to get a server of your own. Plus, with the option to add auto DJ and on-demand services, you can be confident your station will be be all it can be. Custom plans are also available at their website. Simply visit jwnmedia.com and click the Shoutcast hosting link to get started right now. Call the show toll free. 1-888-668-0742. You're listening to Morning Show Central Radio Network on morningshowcentral.com.
MSC Radio Network has just tweeted the following.
This bowel movement won't come out.
Check us out on Twitter at twitter.com/MSC Radio Network.
Hello, and welcome back to High on Sports. I'm Ralphie, and with me, as always,
Ashley.
And I am Von Erich.
Best starting lineup in sports radio, period, exclamation mark.
End of discussion.
Boom. Discussion. It didn't even begin. That's how over this discussion is.
You can't even start it.
Woo! All right. Whether you're listening on one of our many glorious apps or on your home computer, thank you so much for making High on Sports a part of your evening.
I love this intro music.
I know, right?
I know. I'm sitting here jamming.
I want to fight some crime now. Bring it, crime. Come at me, crime. Anyways, there's time.
So you'll be walking home tonight?
Yeah.
No. Not this kind of crime. I'm talking about like this white collar crime.
Yeah.
Like I want to fight like insurance fraud or something, not like dangerous stuff. Anyways, remember as always, email your questions or comments to shows with an S at morningshowcentral.com. And you can call the show toll free, 1-888-668-0742. And if you're watching the show on MSC, which you probably are, you'll notice to the right of the viewer is a place to log into a chat room. It asks for a password. You do not need to put one. Put a name, hit enter. You are immediately logged in, talking to myself, Von Erich, and whoever else may be in there tonight. We're about to do what's urinating us off. You can tell us what's urinating you off. And if we like it, we'll share it on the show. And if we don't, we'll ignore it. That's how this works. So, ball's in your court now. Anyways, we have got so much to get to in so little time, so let's get right into things here. It is round 2. Let's go. The deuce. And now it is time for a staple of High on Sports. That is, of course, what's urinating us off. And we are going to start, as we always do, with Von Erich. Von Erich, what is urinating you off on this fine Monday evening?
Well, as we all know, we talked about it earlier. The draft happened this past weekend.
That it did.
A lot of good things happened. A lot of bad things happened. Well, the end result remains to be seen. We got to wait for the games to play out on the field. But with the final pick in the NFL draft, which they call Mr. Irrelevant, my computer froze down. I can't pull up his name.
Chandler Harnish.
From the San Francisco, if I'm not mistaken.
No, the Colts grabbed him, and he's from Northern Illinois.
Quarterback, if I'm not mistaken,
yes.
correct?
Yes, he is.
Yes. All right, time to restart this bad boy up.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, but what's urinating me off is this video came to light the week before the draft, where this young lady decides that she wants a piece of that NFL ass, and specifically Mr. Irrelevant. But she has also become known as Miss Insignificant, because I'm sure he hasn't even seen this video or even cares to watch it. But let's take a listen to it. It's a couple minutes long.
All right, can we pull that up, Chris?
This ought to be good.
Hey, Internet, specifically college football players on the Internet. My name's Brienne. I live in New York City. And I am super excited for the NFL draft. But I'm really not interested in anyone who's going number 1 or number 2 or number 3 or number 4. Anyone really in the first round, for that matter, or second round, third, fourth, fifth. What I'm interested in and what I've got my sights set on is day 3, round 7, pick 253, the last pick of the draft, Mr. Irrelevant. I've got this special place in my heart for like the humiliated, the neglected, the last pick on the playground kind of guy. That's why I'm making the following offer. Whoever is this year's Mr. Irrelevant is going to earn himself a night alone with me And our time together, I guarantee you, will be anything but irrelevant. I will be waiting and watching, especially you guys, in the Big Sky Conference. With love, your future Mrs. Irrelevant.
No. Oh my God.
Okay. Yeah, why not?
What the hell was
All right.
that?
Yeah, I do it.
Not only is she an annoying hoe bag, she doesn't know how to edit properly.
No, at all. Not even.
And
wow,
and a lot of the comments in the YouTube there have some lonely guys saying that well, to put it in a nice way, that they would have intercourse with her, but I say intercourse that. Want no part of that. Right? That craziness.
Kind of herpesiphilates.
Dude, the crazy is what makes it better, man. You
I
don't even know.
I guess.
I mean,
that's the way you want to roll.
Enjoy, Chandler Harnish.
You need to get her on the show.
I'll find
I'll
a way to get a hold of her.
backhand that hoe just for being an annoying hoe.
We should get her and Chandler Harnish.
Send a message to her through YouTube.
All right, yeah, we'll do that. We'll try to get her.
Oh, Jesus.
Mrs. Irrelevant. That's nice. Okay, so
wow, I see why that's urinating
for those
you
of you
off,
keeping
because I'm very urinated off right now.
for those of you keeping score at home, only one Mr. Irrelevant has ever become, pardon me for using a pun, relevant, and that's Ryan Suckup, starting kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs. So that'll win you some money in trivia someday. He's like the only Mr. Irrelevant who's ever done anything ever until Chandler Harnish.
He's getting
because he's about to do something. Northern Illinois in the house. Woo!
Sexy time.
Oh man! Wow. That's all you, Chandler.
Get it.
Enjoy.
Make sure you wrap it up though.
I don't know how many.
You don't need any irrelevant babies.
How many Mr. Irrelevants has she been with? Do you think? None? All of them?
None.
Somewhere between none and every one. She that would be cool if this became a tradition. Like when you're Mr. Irrelevant, you get like a parade in your honor in Disney World or
and
Disneyland.
You get to bang this chick.
And you get to bang this hoe. Why not?
All right.
Northern Illinois represent the MAC, Mid-American Athletic Conference.
Getting some nookie.
This is I believe this is actually the first time ever that one team had the first and last pick and went quarterback with both.
Well,
so,
yeah.
That's interesting.
That's
how do you
funny.
think their friendship then works? Chandler Harnish and Andrew Luck. Like, hey, remember how you're in their eyes the best and I'm the best left? Like I'm you know what? She
What's
says she
left?
wants these like humiliated people and stuff. Why aren't you going after guys that haven't been drafted?
Yeah, how about the undrafted guys? Because that's more
You know what?
humiliating than being the last guy.
I can only speak about myself personally here, but I've never even been on anyone's mock draft.
Right?
I think that's a little worse than being Mr. Irrelevant.
She needs to call you up, Ralphie.
Where's Virginia Tech corner Chase Minifield? He wasn't drafted. Arizona State linebacker Vontaze Burfict. There's a lot of players that haven't been drafted that people thought would have been. Chris Polk out of Washington. All these guys you should be going after, and you're wasting your time on this superstar Chandler Harnish. So I don't know. It's not fair. Show some love to the other guys. Mr. Even More Irrelevance. All right, well, thank you, Von Erich. And now we slide over to Ashley. Ashley, what's your name you off?
Okay. So you know how everybody's going down in the NBA?
I've heard of it, yes.
Yeah. Well, everyone's all like, oh, like Wilbon and all that. We're talking, it's because of the lockout. It's because of the lockout. All these guys are getting injured. And that's what they didn't want to happen because now it's going to cost them more money because obviously Derrick Rose going down. He was on a team that was supposedly probably going to go all the way.
Could have gone all the way.
And a huge money market, and now he's out. But I'm like, you know what? No, the lockout had nothing to do with these people getting injured. I'm sorry, you're a freaking millionaire when you're sitting at home on your couch playing video games knowing technically I should be at training camp right now, but, you know, there's a lockout. Get off your ass and get in the gym so when you do get on the court, you don't sprain something. And you know what? And two, like with the Derrick Rose blowing out his ACL, the dude from the Knicks who just blew out his ACL, I'm sorry, that could happen at any time. Like, those are just freak injuries that it doesn't matter if you were working out the whole year or not. Those could happen at any time. You just happen that you land wrong and your ligaments just go pop. So that really, I don't see how that has anything to do with 3 months ago when you should have been training and you're not.
I mean, you know who,
I don't.
You know who did this lockout right? The one guy did this lockout right. One guy, and that is that would be Oklahoma City Thunder Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant like roamed the country on foot, looking for any sort of athletic event going on, and just jumped in. Like he just walked on foot across the United States, saw a pickup game, and just said, "Yo, I'm in." You know, and waited for his turn to be picked.
You do what you gotta do.
That's what he did. I mean, he just, whatever. He just kept showing up. Some people on Twitter, some random college kids, not even anybody relevant, said something about getting together with his friends and having a pickup flag football game. So on Twitter, Kevin Durant tweets at him like, "Hey, can I join?" And the guy's like, "Oh, yeah, of course." Thinking like, yeah, right. He's joking and stuff. And then he showed up. And he played with these college kids in a flag football game.
That's legit.
And then LeBron James was like, "Well, I want to do a flag football game of me versus you, Kevin Durant." And then they did it, and LeBron took it super seriously and even did like a touchdown celebration to mock Stevie Johnson, mocking the whole thing with the Plaxico Burress and stuff. And he was like had this intensity, and he's being all super serious. And Kevin Durant's just having fun, and he's like, "Come on, man. It's a flag football game.
Yeah.
Who the hell cares?"
Yeah.
Kevin Durant just roamed the world looking for fun.
And see, he did
The
what he had
next
to do.
fun.
Has he blown out a knee yet? No.
No, because he was in shape in all the pickup games.
Yeah. So I'm sick and tired of going, "Oh, it's a lockout." I'm sorry. Get off your ass and go play some basketball somewhere. There was a court in every corner of the world. There's a court everywhere.
Yeah, there seriously is everywhere. Even though it's an elementary school.
Yeah.
There's some
Go
place
somewhere.
you could go dunk a basketball.
Go into your freaking driveway. If I have a basketball hoop in my driveway, you better have a basketball hoop in your driveway if you're in the freaking NBA.
Right?
And you probably have a bigger
that would be
driveway,
great.
so it's easier to play. My driveway's not very big, so the ball goes into the grass, and when you're trying to play, like if it's 3-on-3, you slip and you fall, you get hurt, or you run into a pole.
I like to imagine them just shooting hoops on a driveway hoop. Like to keep in shape. Like, well, we're gonna be here a while. Crack out the driveway hoop with the little like thing on the bottom for weight, so it doesn't tip over. And just have that at the end of your driveway. Move the car into the street and just go to town. You know?
Hey, you do
that
what
would
you
be
gotta do.
awesome. That would be the best sight you could ever see if you're driving down the street and there's like LeBron James and Dwayne Wade at a
Hooping it up.
driveway hoop,
Playing some 33
just
in a
having
driveway.
some fun. Why not? Why
Hey.
not? All right. Thank you so much. And now I'm going to make this one quick so we can get because of course, immediately following High on Sports tonight is Everything in Between with your host, the lovely Mr. Von Erich.
Thank you for calling me lovely. I appreciate that.
You're welcome,
And
bro.
That does not feel awkward or make me uncomfortable whatsoever.
No, wait, bro. Brah. He's got a band in tonight, right?
Yes, Strangers to Wolves will be in from 8 to 10 tonight.
Okay.
All
Live
right.
interview and acoustic performance.
Ooh.
So do
Nice.
not turn that. Not
Were you
really
going to say
channel.
that dial?
I said
Don't touch
channel.
the dial on your computer.
Channel.
My computer has dials.
So don't change that website. Yeah, don't minimize
that web page.
Okay, we gotta move on. We're getting distracted.
Okay,
again.
what's urinating me off comes from the city of Brooklyn, and more specifically, the new Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
They've unveiled their logo, and I don't get it. It's just, they said new logos, new colors, new everything, man. It's a new change, whatever. The logo it's not even a logo. It's just, It just says Nets, and there's a basketball with a B. There's no net in their logo.
I really think it's like from the 1940s.
I don't understand it, and it's
telling
just
you.
It does have an old school feel to it.
It has kind of an old
Crazy
school feel,
old
sure,
school.
but it's just a black logo with white. It's just black on white. There's no anything to it.
Well, have they added the color scheme yet? Have they
No,
even
this
announced that?
This is it. This is it.
What,
What
so
you're
they're
seeing
going
on
to
my
be playing
computer
in
is
black and white jerseys?
Black and white jerseys, yes. Black jerseys with
That
white
doesn't
lettering
sound
or
too
white
bad.
with black.
Spurs are already black
the
and white.
Spurs
They
already
got
do it.
gray, and then they have some other minimal colors splashed in there.
Oh, that's true, but either way, it's just did you even try? And then what's pissing me off about that? Oh, sorry, urinating me off about this. Whoa, what's urinating me off about this is there's all these shirts coming out now too, and there'll be shirts where it just says Brooklyn, and then there's a B, and it's like that's enough. Like that's.
It's like
That's-
they
how
stole
are
their
you-
ideas from like the bootleggers that make shirts for
Right?
tourists.
It just said Brooklyn, and there was a B under it. And then that's all you got. And that was supposed to be enough to be like, can't you tell I'm a Nets fan? No, I just assume you're from Brooklyn.
Right?
But it gets even worse. Because they've got one where it says Brooklyn, and then hanging off all the letters are shoes. Off the shoelaces, like on the wires. What does that mean?
That's bad.
What does that mean?
That's bad.
That means drugs.
Yeah.
That means a new dealer is in the area.
Is that what that means?
That's exactly what that
I'm
means.
so white. It's scary sometimes.
Wow.
But now you're rocking that like, go Nets. What are you doing? There's shoes.
Apparently there's some dealers on the Nets
Are they going to hang shoes from the Raptors?
Jay-Z an owner?
There's dealers in the
Jay-Z,
organization.
this is a bad combination. Jay-Z, they're already making some drug references, and an presumably evil Russian billionaire owner. I must stress, allegedly.
Well, Jay-Z's part of the
evil.
Illuminati.
He is. He killed Tupac in that song. You can hear it in the
you.
background. It says, "We killed Tupac." Yeah.
And the hologram came back.
It's the Illuminati.
It's that In Paris featuring Kanye. They killed Tupac. And then the Russian billionaire funded the whole thing. Allegedly.
Probably. He's
I
a
have to
Russian
stress.
billionaire, and he probably does fund the Illuminati.
I see
Then he felt bad and made a hologram.
That's true. That hologram's going on tour. Did you hear about that? Totally off topic, but a hologram of Tupac was at a concert. I think it's Coachella or something. And now they've announced that hologram is going on tour. They're touring a hologram
That's
of
too much.
Tupac. I don't get it. But anyways, yeah, so the Brooklyn Nets may have some sort of evil Russian drug-related agenda behind the Nets.
Who knows?
And it still seems cleaner than New Jersey. Hey-o! Anyways, did you hear, by the way, I think he's the governor of New Jersey, what he said after they left?
No.
Chris Christie. He has that press conference. He's like, yeah, and someone says, like, how do you feel? Tonight was the Nets' last game in New Jersey. How do you feel? And he's like, bye. I don't care. You don't want to be here? We don't want you here. We'll find somebody else. It's a beautiful state. It's wonderful. And it's your loss. Bye. I was like, okay.
Because there's so many teams clamoring to go to New Jersey.
Everyone wants to. The teams in New Jersey named themselves New York.
They left because of Snooki.
The Giants and the Jets.
Snooki wants smush smush.
The New York Giants and New York Jets play in East Rutherford, New Jersey. And they call themselves the New York Jets and New York Giants. No team wants to be there except maybe the New Jersey Devils. And that's because I don't understand.
That's just because of based on the name alone.
That's true. The New Jersey Devil is
I love it.
It's a little gremlin or goblin-like creature similar
I love that
to the
commercial
chupacabra
with them-
that lives in the
the
woods in New
elevator.
Jersey.
Just think of Snooki.
It's true.
In which both of those were created by the Blair Witch. Little known fact.
All right, well, we're getting to the end of the show here. It's time for 3 Up, 3 Down. And we're going to start, as always, with down number 3. Down number 3, we go to the baseball world for Delman Young, outfielder with the Tigers. Reportedly attacked a group of gentlemen yelling anti-Semitic epithets.
That's rough.
He has been placed on a restricted list and will undergo...
He didn't swing any punches,
It gets
Chris.
better. Will undergo alcohol and anger management evaluation. Major League Baseball has released a statement today that they're not sure how long, but they will be suspending him. And he's getting charged with a hate crime.
Well,
the only thing I can picture from this event is him attacking generally the stereotypical Jew in New York
Hasidic
City,
Jews.
the Hasidic with the curly Q mustaches and the little hats. Now that would be great.
That's what I picture too. I picture him doing with a bat in uniform.
In uniform.
Just swinging away. All right, down number 2, Derrick Rose. Out for the rest of the playoffs with a torn ACL and out of the Olympics. And down number 1, this was tough, but I figured they go increasingly bad. Because down number 3 was going to miss some time. Down number 2 was miss the rest of the year and summer. Down number 1, maybe out of a job.
Yeah.
Colt McCoy. Maybe out of a
Poor
job
guy.
after reportedly being promised that the Browns wouldn't go in QB in first round. Holmgren has said that is not true, and we did not make any kind of a promise. All right, up number 3, back to the draft. Mohamed Sanu, wide receiver formerly out of Rutgers, got a prank phone call while the Bengals were on the clock in the first round where they said, "You've been selected by the Bengals." And then when he saw them announce the pick, he realized he wasn't. Bengals came back and drafted him in the 3rd round, so he is a Bengal. but that was a prank
That's a
phone
nice
call.
story. I'd have been pissed.
Up number 2, Andrew Bynum. First playoff triple-double for the Lakers since Magic Johnson. 13 rebounds, 10 points, 10 blocks. Up number 1, back to the baseball diamond. Scott Hairston, New York Mets left fielder, hit for the cycle on Friday.
Okay.
Seemed to me like it got swept under the rug a little bit with all the draft and all that other news going on. But the man hit for the cycle. He gets to be number 1 up this week. Congratulations, Scott Hairston. All right, that's going to do it for us this week. So remember to tune in next week. We're going to be breaking down more of the MLB season, NBA playoffs getting a little deeper. NFL mini camps open so soon. Browns May 11th start opening up some of the team activities.
We're getting closer and closer to Lord Stanley's Cup.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
We might talk hockey next week. You have to tune in to find out. Who knows? But that's going to wrap it up for us this week. So for Chris, Von Erich, Ashley, I am Ralphie saying good night. We will see you next week, same time, same place on MorningShowCentral.com.